everybody, it's Dee from OMG, and look what I found. I got this while I was on vacation from a store called the biggest candy store in South Dakota, and this place was huge. It really was the biggest candy store in South Dakota, and this is the first time I have ever seen a Wonder Ball with Shopkins. So this has some kind of a Shopkins surprise for us. We'll have to double check and see what's in it. Maybe there's stickers or something, or maybe Shopkins shaped candy. Let's see. 24 different possibilities of which character you'll get. So this comes with candy and I think stickers. And they're really cool Shopkins. There's watermelon, cherry, mango, and grape. Which flavor will we get? So, do you want to check it out with me? Let's find out. All right, here we go. All right, so there's a really cool Wonder Ball. And you can see that it's got all of the different characters on here. Let's see. And it does come with stickers. Oh, look at how cool this is. Look at that. There's the cupcake Shopkins and a strawberry Shopkins. We're going to have to put that into our sticker book in a little bit. Now let's open our candy and find out what's inside the chocolate. There we go. Now we gotta open it. Ooh, now this looks like, I bet it's watermelon because it's kind of green. And watermelon has a green rind on the outside. And again, if you remember from my last video, rind means the outside skin of the watermelon. Inside it's red, but outside it's green. So let's take a look first. What kind of character do we have on this? Oh, this looks like a strawberry Shopkin. Let's see. That's who it is. I think it's the strawberry Shopkin. Let's take a closer look. Yep, that looks like a strawberry to me. But let's taste the flavor here. It is definitely watermelon. And it is yummy. It's just so good. And now we have chocolate too. Isn't that awesome? So you could get these flavors, and this one is watermelon. And they can come with this different types of Shopkin looks on them. Like here, like I said, this one is the strawberry girl. And it comes with really awesome stickers. Okay. Let's add this to our sticker book. Look at how many cool stickers we already have. Remember the dinosaurs from the last episode? That was pretty cool. Now I'll put, I'm going to put her right here. And then we'll take the strawberry. And we are going to put the strawberry down into the second row because we have so many stickers already. I mean, look at how many stickers we have. There might be a little room to fit her. Let's see how big her sticker is. Let me see. Oh, I might have just room for one more sticker before we have to start a second row. But look at that. We have our two monsters. We have our two velociraptors, and now we have two Shopkins. Oh, isn't that awesome? Isn't it fun when candy gives us surprises? I mean, it's not just really delicious candy, but there are stickers, and sometimes there's little toys inside. That is just so cool, don't you think? So how many stickers have you collected so far? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 stickers. And now there's 1, 2 monsters, 1, 2 velociraptors, and 1 and 2 different kinds of Shopkins. So 2, 4, 6. That's what we call groups of 2. You go 2, 4, 6. We have 6 stickers, and we have 2 of each kind. Of course, I couldn't leave South Dakota without a Yowie. And this is part of the All American series. And the reason they sold these is because I was in South Dakota, and that's where you have a really famous place called Mount Rushmore. And Mount Rushmore, it's a giant mountain, and it's a beautiful mountain. And in the mountainside, they actually carved the faces of very famous founding fathers like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And it's just a beautiful place. In fact, I have a magnet that I bought as a souvenir, and that's really what Mount Rushmore looks like in person, except it's just absolutely beautiful. If you ever have a chance to go to Mount Rushmore and see the mountains and these giant faces of our presidents carved into the mountains, you really, really should go there. It is a fun and beautiful place. I loved it. So, of course, I had to get myself an all-American Yowie, and that means that inside this candy, there's going to be a capsule with chocolate, and that chocolate is going to have an animal from America. And it could be a bear, it could be a special bird from America, like a robin or a blue jay. It could be really anything, and that's what's really exciting. Now, this one's name is Boof. Do you remember the last Yowie we had? His name was Nap. And so they all have their own names and their own looks. And this one is Boof. Isn't that cute? And look at his face. Now let's open Boof up and see our all-American Yowie that came all the way from South Dakota, Mount Rushmore. And when I went to South Dakota, do you know how far away that is? For me, it took 15 hours. That's right, 15. That's a lot of hours. I mean, that was a long time to drive from where I live all the way to the mountains of where South Dakota is. So, his little head came off. Uh-oh. So you can see the capsule already. I'm gonna eat this. Okay, so here's our little Boof. Let's get the capsule inside Boof. We'll eat the chocolate later. Again, yummy chocolate. Now when you take the capsule, squeeze in the back and in the middle. And let's see what we got. I didn't get an animal. You know what I got? The ultra rare and hard to find Yowie. I got a Diddy. Isn't he adorable? Look at him. He is so cute. These are very hard to find. These are rare collectibles. Now, sometimes, like I said, they'll have an animal in it of something like, if it's an American classic, it's going to have some kind of an American animal, or it's going to have an animal from anywhere in the world, depending on what kind of Yowie you get. But sometimes they have these very rare Yowie characters, like actual Yowies, just like our Boof is a Yowie. We have a Yowie named Diddy. These are rare finds. So if you get one of these, hold on to it, because these are not easy to come by. In fact, this is only the second Yowie I've ever gotten. That's how rare and hard to find they are. So that's how special this find is, and I'm so glad I get to share it with you guys. Let's see a little bit about Diddy. Is the poet of the Yowie pack, in love with his habitat and its wild folk. Diddy spends time foraging with Cousin Wombat, chasing butterflies, and conducting cicada and cricket concerts. Always on the lookout for trouble in the woodlands and the meadows, Diddy is a determined protector of its domain. Now, basically what that means is Diddy is a conservationalist. That is a huge word, isn't it? Conservationalist? Do you know what conservation means? Well, basically, and that's the whole point of the Yowie, is to teach everybody about protecting wildlife and nature. For example, if you go to McDonald's and you have a hamburger, don't throw your hamburger wrapper on the ground. That's what a garbage is for. Because when you throw litter all over the place, animals could get hurt. Because they could pick up on the wrapper and accidentally chew on it and get it in their tummies, and it could make them feel bad. So we have to make sure that we take care of nature by making sure you throw away your garbage in a garbage can. And if you have recyclables like pop cans or soda bottles or water bottles, you put them in the recycling bin. So garbage goes in the garbage and recyclables go in the recycling bin. And again, recyclables would be anything like cans or bottles, water bottles, soda bottles. Some people call it soda. I call it pop from where I am. But you put those in the recyclables and then they could get reused. Did you know that some people can take water bottles, the little plastic water bottles, and turn them into something else? That's what recycling is. Recycling is taking something that would just sit in a landfill and cause a whole lot of, garbage to pile up. And they turn it into something else that can be used so it doesn't just sit in a land pile. Like, for example, they take the water bottles and they turn them into things that they can use to pave roads. Some water bottles become roads. I actually have a brush whose handle is made from recyclable plastics. So recycling is very important because it can protect the wildlife, it can protect nature, and keep all that garbage from piling up and piling up. And I think that is pretty cool. And that's what Diddy's all about. Diddy is all about recycling and protecting the earth. Don't throw your litter everywhere, and make sure if you have recyclables, you have it recycled. And that'll protect the wildlife. Have you ever heard of something called the dodo bird? The dodo bird used to exist. It was a real animal despite the funny name. But the dodo bird doesn't exist anymore. It's extinct. Extinct means there are no dodo birds left in the entire world. Well, we also have a lot of threatened animals. Threatened means that they're close to becoming extinct. And of course, there's plentiful animals that are not endangered or threatened. And like the robin and the grizzly bears. I mean, there's still a lot of those around and they're not considered endangered or threatened, but they could become that way one day if we don't protect our wildlife and nature. That's why we should all be little mini conservationalists. It's a hard word, it's a big word, but it just means that we protect wildlife just like the Yowie. Have you gone into a lake or even your own backyard and collected rocks? I love rocks. I have a collection of different kinds of rocks called agates. They have all these beautiful banding and they're kind of see-through-y and they're made of quartz and other materials kind of mixed together, and they're so neat. And then I also collect what they call fossil rocks. They're rocks that have little fossils of different shells or sometimes little animals or even sometimes different corals from the ocean. And they're thousands and sometimes millions of years old, and they're just the neatest things, and I have so many of those. But I also like really pretty colorful rocks. Do you like these? Look at these. Some of these look like, doesn't that look kind of like a meteorite? Rocks are really fun things to collect, and because there's so many different kinds and they're so pretty and they're so shiny and they're so tasty. That's right, these aren't real rocks, they're candy rocks. They're chocolates that are made to look like rocks. Aren't they neat? This would actually make a really good prank at school. Pull out some rocks that look like, or candy I should say, that look like rocks, and then eat them in front of your friends and tell them you're actually eating rocks. And I got these from the world's biggest candy store in South Dakota. They have all sorts of different really cool looking fake rocks in here. And they're actually, they feel like they'd be hard, but they're just soft chocolates. They kind of taste like malted milk balls if you've ever had a malted milk ball. But wouldn't that be funny to make your friends think you're actually eating a rock? Because they actually do feel like a rock, and they look like a rock, and they sound like a rock when they bump together. But they're actually just candy-coated chocolate. But how funny would that be if your friends actually thought you were eating real rocks? Now, don't put a real rock in your mouth ever, because you could choke. Rocks aren't meant to go in your mouth. But candy rocks, eat away. So good.
Yippee-yi-yay,
Look at that thing over here. There he comes.
Folks, crush a penny for you right before your eyes. After you drop in your money, make your own custom choice.
I don't know about you, but when I go on vacation, I'd like to get something that reminds me of the vacation that I've been on and all the different places that I saw and all the different things that I've visited. So I got myself a magnetic board, and that basically means I can hang magnets on my wall instead of on my fridge. And it also has this little pen up here, and this pen lets me write on it. And it's got a little eraser for if I make a mistake, I can erase it. It's called a dry erase magnetic board. And I collect different magnets from all different places that I've visited. Like the state of Michigan. I was at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. I've been to Chicago. Oh, this is a great zoo, Wildwood Wildlife Park. That's really cool. And I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that is actual sand from Albuquerque. This actual sand that you can get there. So it's almost like somewhere that I actually walked, and there it is. And I've been to a place called Deadwood and Crazy Horse. And this was Well Drug in South Dakota. Really awesome place. Great milkshakes. And I've been to Universal Studios in Hollywood. And there's a place called the Mystery Spot. The Mystery Spot is so funny. I mean, you could actually walk into a building and you could feel like you're growing and the building is shrinking. Or you could actually see things that are upside down. Like you could be walking on the ceiling and looking up at the floor. I mean, how weird is that? So that's another place that I've been to. And of course, Minnesota. So I collect all these magnets from the different places that I've been. This is in South Dakota. This is a place in South Dakota that I recently was, and this is South Dakota, and this is South Dakota, and this is South Dakota. Mount Rushmore's there, and Well Drug is there, Deadwood's there, and Crazy Horse is all in South Dakota. And that's where I got the really awesome rock candy, as well as my Shopkins Wonder Ball. So when you go on vacation, this is something that you could think of doing so you always have something to remember your vacation by. You could collect magnets, and you can get this for really cheap at a place called Walmart. If you guys are living in a place where there is a Walmart, or you could find them online. Of course, get your parents' permission before buying anything, but you just hang it on your wall. And you can put your magnets so that they're always around and you always have something to remind you of all the places that you've been. So how many places have you been? Have you been out traveling to different places like Disneyland or Disney World or Universal Studios? Or maybe you've been to Michigan or Minnesota or California or South Dakota. Do you have any stickers that remind you of all the places you've been? Or maybe some kind of magnets or some kind of souvenir. That's what these are called. These are called souvenirs. They are memories of the different places that you've got to visit. and you can bring them to your friends and you could show them all the different places you've been, or for show and tell. And magnets are just really fun because then you could decorate your wall, or you could put them on your refrigerator and decorate your refrigerator, or wherever you can put a magnet, or you could get some stickers and put them in your sticker book. But these are souvenirs, and souvenirs are memories. And it's so important to get something to remember the fun time you had in different places. And this is the way I do it. So how many magnets would you guys have? Would you guys have a lot or just a few right now? So think about all the places you've been and all the different magnets or stickers or souvenirs that you would like to get to remember those really fun vacations. Now, okay, hey, bubble butt. I'm trying to do something here. See, this is what happens when I try to do a video. Hey, you. You, I'm talking to you. Hey, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Can you scooch? I'm trying to make a video. Look what you're doing to my cushion. Why are you doing that? Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Skadoosh. Skadoosh. Skadood. Okay then, so, of course, I could not leave without getting... Really? You guys done? Okay.